Have you ever felt that your life doesn't have a clear purpose? That while some people look like big achievements, you just survive, unsure where you are going? We look at figures like Carl Jung, Einstein, Freud, or Mandela, and see trajectories marked by achievements and meaning. And then there is an uncomfortable thought, what about me? Does my life have any real value? If this question has already crossed your head, know that you are not alone. But perhaps the error is in the way we see the purpose. Jung believed that the answer to this anguish is not in the outside world, but within us, on the darkest side of our mind, what he called shadow. The idea may seem uncomfortable at first glance, but think about it. How many times have you ignored a part of yourself to fit? How many desires or impulses did you suppress for fear of judgment? And if precisely in these hidden parts of your mind is the key to understanding who you really are and what should you do with your life? In this video, we will explore how your shadow can reveal the purpose of your existence according to Jung. You will understand why most people feel lost and disconnected from their own essence, what the shadow really is, and how it influences your desires and fears. Why repressing parts of yourself may be moving you away from your purpose, and more importantly, how to turn your shadow into a guide to a more meaningful life. If you want to find out who you really are and what your true purpose is, stay until the end, because understanding this can change everything. Carl Jung had a unique view of the purpose of life. For him, finding meaning was not linked to success, fame, or wealth, but to an internal process of self, knowledge, and transformation. He believed that each person is born with his own way, but that this path is not something that is discovered from the outside in, but the opposite. Unlike many philosophies that speak of a predefined destination or mission, Jung saw purpose as something that emerges from our unconscious. In your words, the purpose of life is not to be perfect, but to be whole. This means that to find true purpose, we need to accept and integrate all parts of who we are, even those we avoid looking. Jung said that the human mind can be divided between the ego and the unconscious. The ego is the part of our consciousness that interacts with the world, our public identity. The unconscious, on the other hand, houses everything we repressed and deny. And it is precisely there that are the most important signs about who we really are. That's why he said that whoever looks out dreams, but who looks inside wakes up. The question is, how to look inside, how to find clues about our true purpose in what was buried in the unconscious. Jung believed that our greatest potential is hidden within our shadow, the hidden side of our mind. And understanding this concept can be the missing piece for you to finally find a real meaning for your life. If the purpose of life is within us, as Jung said, why do so many people feel lost? The answer may be what you have chosen to ignore about yourself. From an early age, we have learned that some emotions, impulses, and desires are not acceptable. If a child expresses anger, they say he needs to be more controlled. If she stands out too much, they say she needs to be more humble. It is demonstrated ambition they call selfish. Gradually, she learns to hide these features. These parts that we repress do not disappear, they become our shadow. Jung defined the shadow as the hidden side of our psyche, where we keep everything we don't want to see. These are traces of personality that we suppress, feelings we judge unacceptable, desires we avoid. But the frightening is that often what we repress may contain valuable clues about our true purpose. Think of something you despise in others. Arrogant people irritate you. You may have learned to hide your own self. Confidence. Do you bother with whom? It seeks recognition. Perhaps you have repressed your own need to be seen. Do you judge who is ambitious? Perhaps he has stifled his own desire to grow. This phenomenon is called projection. What we reject in others may be exactly what we deny in ourselves. Jung believed that working the shadow was essential to living with authenticity. If we ignore parts of who we are, we live with a constant feeling of emptiness, as if something was missing, and it really is. That's why so many people feel lost. They spent their lives trying to be what others expected from them, instead of accepting who they really are. But then, how can we access this hidden part of our mind? How to bring out what we hide and use it to discover our purpose? The answer is in the next step. Integrate the shadow into our lives and turn it into strength. Now that you understand what the shadow is, the question arises, how to use it to find your purpose. The first thing Jung teaches us is that we should not fight the shadow, but to integrate it. This means that it is no use trying to eliminate it or pretend it does not exist. What really transforms one's life is to bring the shadow into consciousness and learn to use it positively. Think like this. Repressed anger can be used as energy to impose limits and defend itself when necessary. Envy can reveal what you really want for your life if used as a guide, not as a poison. The pride you hide may be exactly what is missing for you to have more confidence in yourself. The problem is that when we deny these aspects, they manifest themselves uncontrollably and destructive. This is why people who see themselves as very peaceful sometimes explode with an unexpected anger. Or those who say they don't care about money live resentful with those who succeed. Jung said that when we repress our shadow, she gains power over us. But when we look at her from the front, we can direct this energy to something productive. And how to do that? The first step is to observe patterns in your own life. Whenever you feel irritation, envy, or frustration, ask yourself, what is this emotion trying to show me? Is there anything here I denied for a long time? How can I turn this feeling into a positive action? Writing about this, reflecting, and even talking about these issues with someone trustworthy are ways to bring the shadow to light. The integration of the shadow does not mean surrendering to its impulses, but to learn to use them intelligently. It is transforming what you repress into fuel for your growth. And this is where we reach the center point of purpose. It is not enough just to understand your shadow. You need to act. After all, there is no point in knowing who you are if you do not put it in the world in a practical way. And that is what we will explore now, how action defines its purpose. Now that we understand that purpose is hidden in our shadow, the most important question arises: what to do with this knowledge? Many people spend their lives looking for a sign or hoping that the purpose simply appears. But Jung teaches us what purpose is not passively discovering itself. It is actively built. If you expect absolute certainty before you act, you will never leave the place. The purpose is not a mystical revelation that comes at a moment of total clarity. It manifests itself in the action, experimentation, and confrontation of its own challenges. Think of the moments when you felt more alive. What were you doing? What kind of situation aroused your energy? Often, the answer to purpose is already in our history, but we do not see it because we are stuck with fixed ideas about what it means to have a purpose. Jung said, "You are what you do, not what you say you will do." This means that if you want to make sense to your life, you need to start right now. But how to start? 1. Face discomfort. The things we resist most often are the ones that lead us to growth. What you avoid may contain the key to your evolution. 2. Do it before you feel ready. If you expect to be confident before you start something, you will never leave the place. Confidence comes from practice, not thought. 3. Test different ways. If you still don't know what your purpose is, try new things. Write, create, teach, explore. The purpose is revealed in movement, not in stagnation. 4. Reflect on your actions. With each new experience, ask yourself, does this bring me closer or move away from what I feel is true to me? The greatest mistake of those seeking a purpose is to wait for clarity instead of acting. But the truth is that clarity comes only after you start. And here is a crucial detail. Your purpose is not fixed, it evolves with you. Therefore, the search for meaning is not a destination, but a continuous process. And this is what we will explore in Closure: how to deal with uncertainties and continue to grow. Jung said that a meaningful life is not that without challenges, but one where each obstacle is integrated into our evolution. If there is anything we can learn from your philosophy, it is not a fixed point on the horizon, a magical revelation, or a final destination. He manifests himself in small daily decisions, internal confrontations, and the courage to look inside. The shadow which many avoid is not a burden, but a guide. It is in it that we hide repressed parts of our essence, our true desires, talents, and potentials. Integrating it means becoming more complete, more authentic, and more prepared to build a meaningful life. What does this mean in practice? That there is no purpose waiting to be discovered. It is built through action. That looking inside can be uncomfortable, but it is necessary to truly know yourself. That the courage to act, even without absolute clarity, is what defines those who really find meaning in life. In the end, finding purpose is not about having all the answers, but about being willing to pick them up. And this journey begins the moment you decide to face who you really are, without fear of what you can find. Now, I want to know about you. What in this video made you reflect? Did any part impacted you in a special way? Leave your comment. If this content has made sense to you, share it with someone who is also looking for purpose. And if you want more reflections like this, subscribe to the channel to follow the next videos. The meaning of life is not waiting for the perfect answer. It is in becoming the person who seeks this answer. Every day,